Kimberly Turner from cookingwithkimberly.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make tiger nuts milk from tiger nuts flour. Now, you might have seen me make it before from the actual nuts, and that works perfectly well, and it's wonderful that way. However, you can also make it from the flour, depending upon what ingredient you have on hand, whether you have nuts available or whether you have the flour. Here's the flour. Okay, so basically this flour is just these whole nuts with the skins on, ground up and milled to make this light, beautiful, fluffy flour. If you've never heard of tiger nuts before, they're not actually nuts at all. They're little tubers that lived under the ground like potatoes or carrots. And upon a closer look, there you go, that's what they look like. They look like little wrinkly chickpeas. And they're vegetarian, they're vegan, they're organic, they're non-GMO, they're nut-free, gluten-free, cholesterol, dairy, and lactose-free. They have a beautiful prebiotic in them. They are antibacterial, they have a resistant starch that helps with weight loss, and apparently they're good for your sex life too. Plus, they're full of fiber. So if you've been dabbling with making other non-dairy milks out of nuts and things like that, you have got to try this tiger nuts. Now, what they taste like, they kind of have a beautiful coconutty sort of flavor. A slight sweetness as well because of that nice starch in there. So what I'm going to do is, usually if I make it with the nuts, I soak them overnight so that they're nice and hydrated and ready to go. But if you're using the flour, you can totally skip that step. This is like an express way of making the tiger nuts milk. So I'm going to add to my blender, I'm going to add 1 liter of water. And I have 1.5 cups of flour. Now this is organic tiger nuts flour from tigernutsusa.com. Check them out and all of their products because they're awesome, fabulous, fresh, and delightful. All right, in that goes to the blender. And I'm just gonna blend this up really well. Let it go for a minute or two. Now that your blender did all that great work, you're gonna let this sit for 10 or 15 minutes while that flour kind of rehydrates and reconstitutes, and let this just kind of permeate in there. 10-15 minutes, I'm gonna reblend it again. Okay, that's been 15 minutes. Now I'm going to blend this up again, just the same way. Another minute or so. Now get yourself a fine mesh sieve or some cheesecloth, and we're going to strain this out. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, make sure that you have very clean sieve and very clean reservoir. I'm using a measuring cup just because it's easier to pour after, okay? Especially if you're using this milk for a baby. We're gonna strain that through your fine mesh sieve. This works a lot easier, a lot faster, even the straining, than when we use the whole nuts. You may have to push it through a little bit. Okay, once you're satisfied that all the liquid is out, what you have is almost a liter or just over a quart, right in between there, of the tiger nuts milk, and you have the tiger nuts flour that's now reconstituted tiger nut, and that's what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to show you what another use for this is. You could use this in smoothies in the morning. You could make this into a breakfast cereal, similar to that of, you know, maybe cream of wheat or something. So if you're doing this for baby, you can freeze this in ice cube trays, and it's a single serving feeding, or maybe 2, maybe 1 in the morning, and you serve them half in the morning, depending on how big your baby is. Half in the morning, half in the evening, keeping it refrigerated in between. But don't waste that. That's good stuff right there. So that's what I do. I freeze it in my ice cube trays, pat them down. So now you have tiger nuts milk and some tiger nuts cereal. You could pop 1 or 2 of these cubes, again, in a smoothie for yourself instead of giving it to if you don't have a baby at home. Or you could add this to a cookie dough, pancake batter. There's a number of different uses for this. Don't waste it. So that's my 1 week of prep for baby done. That's 8 cubes and a whole quart of tiger nuts milk, and I'm ready to go. Little Pearl, she'll only eat half of that in the morning and half of that at night, 1 of those cubes. So into the freezer with these, and there you go. Healthy, nutritious, nut-free, dairy-free tiger nuts milk. And I'll show you what it's like. It has a lovely consistency. It tastes delicious. And that was so easy. So that's how you do it. That's how you make tiger nuts milk from flour. You can do it. Super simple, very nutritious and healthy. And it's a great replacement for any kind of milk you're using in your recipes. If you want to make smoothies, if you want to add that to your coffee, if you want to put it in your oatmeal, whatever you might use milk for. And if you're trying to cut out any dairy and you're cutting out nuts out of your diet, that's the way to do it. All right, make sure you check out tigernutsusa.com for their flour and all of their awesome products. All right, that's it, that's all. Follow me on Twitter at Cooking with Kim, E with a capital E. Like the fan page at facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. Check out my instagram.com/webchef of all trades. You can find my shows online at youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly, and come to my website at cookingwithkimberly.com. Subscribe and interact with us. Let us know what's going on in your culinary world, all right? Be a champion in your kitchen and eat deliciously. Bye.